good morning, and good morning. It is 9:02. Okay, fashionably late. 9:02, 9:02. Good morning, good morning. I woke up yesterday morning and I had this idea. Again, I always get ideas in the middle of the night. I dream, and sometimes I can remember my dreams. Um, but I always seemingly dream the same thing. And a lot of times we have um, dreamt things and we don't realize the significance of them because we never pour into them. Sometimes they're great ideas. We see ourselves doing things that totally different from what we used to do or what we feel we have the ability to do. So I've been watching this series called What's Next, and it comes on whenever I'm around to see it. I think it comes out earlier in the day, but whenever I just record it and I get a chance to watch it, it's called What's Next, and it's basically the essence of living an extraordinary life for some residents that started in Florida. But it has gained momentum. It started in 2017, especially like for baby boomers, who are living longer and need to have something else to do. Good morning, Joan. How are you, my sweetie? How are you? How are you? And so they're looking for people who have interests, and if they want to talk about what their extraordinary life is. For me, it's every day. When I'm working on things like this, or I'm writing, or it might be, good morning, Ardelia, how are you? Or it might be that I'm writing, and sometimes we will not step into a dream. Sometimes we dream of being carefree and traveling all over the world, but we don't. We stay in our neighborhoods, in our own little silos with our own same few people, and we do nothing. But think about the opportunity to learn that you can do something that you've never tried. And then when you try it, you love it. And then not only do you love it, you're good at it. You may even be great at it. And that's what this series is about. It's called, as I said, it's called What's Next. And it comes on, the series started back in 2017. But I know where we live, if you're in the Pensacola, Mobile, Alabama area, it comes on ABC News, and it's just wonderful. So they show you extraordinary people, like people who decided they were going to go skydiving, or they were going to write their best book and they're 90 years old. It doesn't matter, and they're just trying to say that age has nothing to do with your cognitive ability. In fact, I heard a message yesterday, and it was talking about. In fact, it was on the show, and it was talking about that even if physically you can't do as much, cognitively you can do great, because you always have the ability to create new brain cells. New cells in the brain offer an opportunity to keep paths open, to be realistically sound for yourself and others, to still continue to live life to its fullest. And so I'm really excited about it. So as I said, I woke up this morning and yesterday morning with the same kind of thing. Over the weekend, I'm going to tell you what I did. And how are you? Let me ask you that. I don't want to get all excited about what it is that God gave me to do, but how are you? Right? Tell me how you're doing in that little thread on the side. But for myself, I had a couple of months ago, I did just a singing thing over at Everman's, and a gentleman that was there heard myself and the keyboardist and said, "Hey, would you like to do our Christmas party?" We said absolutely yes, and we did it. So we did that Saturday night at V. Paul's Italian Restaurante in downtown South Palafox. Oh my God, what a great time we had! What a great time we had. They got to hear great jazz. We did a few gospel pieces. I even did Mary Did You Know. I was just, living this thing that I've always dreamt about, is just to be just this dynamic singer, not really obligated to a lot of other things, but obligated to that whenever I'm doing it. So it turned out really well. We had Jamel Kidd on keyboard. A new young man I just met, his name is David Lyons. He was on upright bass. And then I had Lawrence I Drum Young on the drums. So we did a fantastic job. They just absolutely loved us. And I just heard back from the inviter for us to come, and he said, man, you guys really showed out, and you changed how we celebrated our holiday party, our Christmas party. So we're really excited about that. So anyway, we're going to talk about dreams this morning. Want to just give you that little bit, but I know you all have heard this poem before by Langston Hughes, Dream Deferred. How many of us defer what it is that we've dreamt about for a long time? I know I have. I know many of us have. We think age is the stopper, or it might be size is a stopper, or color is the stopper, or nobody will let you in because they won't open the door. Excuse me. Create your own door. Create your own door. So anyway, dream deferred. It says, what happens to a dream deferred? Does it dry up like a raisin in the sun, or fester like a sore and then run? It says, does it stink like rotten meat, or crust and sugar over like a syrupy sweet? Maybe it just sags like a heavy load. Or does it explode? For some of us, our dreams explode. Others of us let everything crust over it. We can't get to it. We're going to get to it. We never get to it. We never do. But I am a dreamer. I've always, my mother always said, I never knew where that be me, came from, because I would always have different interests. I taught myself how to do calligraphy. I taught myself cursive handwriting because they weren't teaching it. Just things that just made sense to me. And that's what we have to do. Get back to the you. What is it that if you have a dream that keeps coming back, write it in there. What's your dream? What is it? What is it? Is it writing a book? Completing it? So it wouldn't just be writing, it would be completing the book and then getting it all through the rigors of publishing and on the different platforms for it to be sold. What would you like to do? Or maybe you'd like to do something else that's totally different. Maybe you'd like to, lead a group of women, men, talking about things that aren't mentally, from the side of being clinical, but just socially or humanic or in a human manner that you're working with people. That would be awesome. That would be awesome. So anyway, a dream. What is a dream? If you have dreams, put it in there. You could just say, yes, I have a dream. You don't have to tell it if you don't want to. But it says a dream is a succession of images, thoughts, or emotions passing through the mind during sleep. It's your fantasy. Sometimes it's our nightmare. Sometimes it's our vision. Sometimes it's even like feeling like we're hallucinating with it. Or we may be ones who dream during the day and it's a daydream. I know my teachers always used to say, Sandra, pay attention. Because they thought I was daydreaming. I was daydreaming. I just believe in it. So when we break this word down, and this is Are You Stuck? We break the word down. My D is for delusion, a false belief or judgment about external realities held. And sometimes it's not false in the sense that we have it. It's false in the sense that we think it to be false and therefore we can't act on it. But sometimes we may go left only to find out that we got a better chance of going right. It's just the way it is. Let's see. Desires. Okay, that's right. Desires. Putting other stories I have written, and that's right, in order. Yeah, absolutely, Joan. Absolutely. So anyway, my delusion says, despite controversial evidence to the contrary occurring, experiencing mental conditions, misapprehensions, mistaken impressions, false impressions, I took this word as being delusional only in the sense that we can't get to it because we'd say, oh, it's too crazy for us. But sometimes at the base of delusion is desire, is a way of delineating things, defining things, developing things, only because we thought it crazy at first, that it would be us that would do something. So anyway, it talks about it could be just misinformation for us, but anyway, it may also be right. It may also be just as what we're supposed, and it talks about self-forwardness, because delusions also say that sometimes we can't get to it. It just sounds too crazy, too much for us. We can't handle it. I say step out on your dream. Step out on it, no matter the age. No matter the age. And don't listen to people, because sometimes people see your ability as something they should criticize. And I figure, no, it's not yours. It wasn't given to you. It's given to me. So if it's given to me, that means I should work on it. Good morning, Miss Rosie. Today our word is dream. Do you dream, Miss Rosie? I know I do. So when we start off again, and the R of dream for me is reality. It's your reality. The dream may come to you as something, weird in the middle of your night, or during the middle of your day. You just all of a sudden find yourself where you're daydreaming about something. That's okay. It says the reality is what you do with it. The world of a state of things that are actually exist. So if it's just something that comes up in the middle of the night or in the day and you're not really paying attention to it, you may not grab onto it. You may not get it. Okay. But it says the reality is what you can do with it. And that would make it exciting. It says that's when we're looking at something that's idealistic or a notional idea of something that you can do or think about doing. It says that's when you're in the real world, the real life, the actuality, the truth, your physical existence, your mental existence. It says your corporality, okay, and then your materiality. So you're looking at all the things that, how can I put this together for me? How can I make this work? What is it? What can I do to make it where the idea came and it didn't just flee, but it stayed. It stayed in the reality area. And I know now I have to break it down even more. What must I do? What do I have to start doing? Maybe it's collecting research. Maybe it's writing more. Maybe it's, it's going to tell you that once you get through the first rigor of it, you go to the second and the third. And to me, that's how books are made. That's how articles are written. That's how songs are prepared. I mean, that's how it's done. Good morning, Justice. Good morning, my sweet friend. How are you? Good to see you in the space. Today our word is dream. Are you a dreamer, Justice? I know I am. I dream all the time. And I take chances. As I said, the fact that I've been a musician all my life, but I always put it on the back burner. Here I am, old, and I'm singing. So it's what you decide that you want to do. It's what you want to do. So we move on in the word of dream. So far we've done delusion. It may come to you as a delusion. It may come to eventually get into your reality. Then you have to talk about your experience in dream. Your experience is either you have little experience, or you're an evolving experience, or you are experienced. You are a regular at visiting the same thing over and over again. And eventually it clicks in and says, this is what I should be doing. And it doesn't say stopping the other things, because I believe that we're multi-capable, multi-available to different things. We just have to prioritize. I think that's what Joan was saying, that we have to sometimes prioritize things. I am never stop dreaming. That's right, never stop. I never stop. I'm going to be the oldest dreamer. When I leave up out of here, I'll be dreaming. I'll be dreaming about how it's going to be upstairs because I believe he'll let me in. But that's what I'm going to be dreaming about. I'm going to be looking at what is it, what else is it that I must see, I don't see down here, but I'm going to see up there. So that, yes, I'm with you, Justice. So my experience is, having knowledge or skill or in a particular field, especially in a profession or a job. And it says gained over time. So sometimes we don't even realize that things that we did in fifth grade are things that we can use when we're in our 40s and 50s. Because we learned it well back then. Now we can apply it well later on when we gain more experience. And because experience is just that, it's a layered kind of thing. Eventually, you can call yourself an expert in a certain area. You can call yourself somebody that knows something, has learned something, has been challenged by some things, and ready to do whatever, ready. So when we look at this whole thing of experience, we look at how knowledgeable have we become, skillful, an expert. There it is again. Commensurate, a professional, proficient, trained. These are all the synonyms. Competent. I mean, how many people have probably watched you do certain things and said, wow, I wish I could do that. Well, you become competent in it. It's what you can do. Capable, qualified, well-trained, well-versed, seasoned. How many of us are seasoned? Some of the best cooks that I've ever been around were not in restaurants. Okay, my mother was one of them. Okay, my grandmother was another one. So sometimes you have to talk about the fact that you've been presented with reality. You presented, which was the last word I used. You've been presented in your reality that you can do whatever you want to do. If you want to be a cook, you could be a cook. If you want to, what I call, my daughter's always talking about, she wished she had designed clothes. There's still time. You're still young. Do what you want to do. Do what you want to do. So when we look at the whole thing of experience, we talk about practiced. There you go. Because sometimes we don't want to put in the time. We talk about it being mature, because as we get more and more and more, developed in a particular area, we mature in it. We become veterans in it. We become long-serving in it if we really want to. And then we talk about hardened, meaning that we are the core of whatever's going on that we're trying to really participate and show to others that we have this capability. And it says we may end up with battle scars, meaning we've been boxed and beat down and beat back up, and all of a sudden we're where we need to be. You just never know what happens when you're dealing with your own experience and how it can lead to your dream and not keep you away from it if you are determined. So anyway, it also says with experience, we become an ace, we become the wizards. So that's what, the whole concept of dreaming is, and how experience can get us to the other level. My A in dream, as we move on, is for appear. Okay. It says come into sight. Sometimes we know that there are things that we can do, but it's never visual. It's never exposed. It's never able to be seen by others or even ourselves, because it's only things that we dream about, and therefore they never appear. I say come out of your dream and move into your reality. Achieve. That's wonderful, Joan. We should strive to achieve whatever it is has been given to us as something that we can move out on. So I said appear, which is to come into sight, become more visible and noticeable, typically to yourself, but it says without visual agent or apparent cause, meaning it's there. It's there. You You plan to do it, you can do it, and you do it. You do it. That's good. It says when something appears, it's going to come into view. It's going to come into sight. It's going to materialize. It says it looks at taking shape. How many of us have had a dream that eventually takes shape? You know, we don't even know how sometimes we get to where we go or where we've arrived, only because we forget that it was planted early on. You know, it was planted in us. You know, I truly believe, and I am a God-fearing woman, and I believe that God has given me everything, all of my gifts, all of my talents, all of my abilities, you know. And so I'm grateful. I am grateful for the things that I have. And so when something appears that wasn't there before, I'm excited about it. When something appears that I just want to try it and see what I can do with it, I'm going to do it. I'm going to figure out how to get it done. So when it says, so to appear something also says that how sometimes it can be something that emerges. It might be slow coming, but then it stays. It says it's to be seen, to be manifested by itself. It becomes apparent, evident. It becomes surfaceful, meaning we see it. Could just crop up, meaning, you know what, I'm going to try this. Every once in a while, I'll try some art. You know, there was a while when I did big events, I would make up a plaque with the saying and beautiful papers and all kinds of things. And, you know, it looked like it came out of a framing shop. And no, I'd do it all myself. And they said, you made this? Just trying my luck. I won't even say luck. I'll try my blessing. I'll just try my blessing that I can get it done. So it says develop, and eventually it forms this thing that has emerged from your experience, from how you think it should look, from your reality of what the dream started as to what it has become. And then we move on to our M, and our M speaks to the actual mental capability of us. Sometimes we don't realize that we have been given such a wonderful instrument. Our minds are just absolutely amazing of what we can do. Mood. Yeah, that's right. Because sometimes, yeah, Joan, that's good. Because sometimes mood will say, yeah, I'm not in the mood to do that, even though it came to me. I've done that sometime. I have. But the mental thing that I'm talking about talks about relating to the mind. It's when you're looking at the intellectual things behind what the mind says you can do. Even if we don't act on it, the mind sometimes is telling us some things. It's the cerebral, you know, idea that in that brain there is something there that could be rational. It may originally present as being irrational. So I don't understand that. And then eventually you keep, you know, having the same dream that comes back. There it is. You say, made sense this time. I know what I need to do. Manage is good. Thank you, Kalithia. To manage what it is that you've been given. Mental also talks about our psychological abilities, our cognitive abilities, the abstractness. Sometimes dreams come and they're abstract to us. You know, in fact, Pastor yesterday at Greater Little Rock Baptist Church was talking about in the Bible how sometimes you've seen certain individuals that have been given just amazing abilities to predict, you know, and Joseph was one of them. And he was able to predict dreams that other people were having. And what did he do with them? He was able to tell them what the dreams meant. You know, now I know myself not to be clairvoyant, so I don't try to be. But for myself, I've been able to be a little thermostat. Good morning, Maurice. Mo, how are you? Good to have you in the space. Today our word was dream. I'm on the last letter. So far we looked at dreams being something that is deferred. A lot of times we never get around from them, and that was from Langston Hughes. But then they could come to us as a delusion, They could be eventually our reality. They encompass our experience if we put forth the effort. They appear to us the way in which makes sense to us as to how we can move out on them. And then they settle in our mental ability as a doable. And so the mental side speaks to the rationale of it, the psychological, the cognitive, the abstract, the conceptual. Sometimes we can't conceive that we can do things that we can do, you know, and then it happens. God steps in. It happens. It says then it might be the theoretical, the mind, and the phrenic. We just never know that sometimes the dreams that we have connections to the next things that we're going to do. The next thing. Long as we're living, we have the ability to do next. We have the ability to step out where we've always been, those other 30 years, 40 years, 50 years, 60 years. So what? That's where we were. Let's go to where we want to go, you know. And as I said, I've always been a singer, always just wanted to sing. But I remember, you know, there was some, in New York, there was tryouts for a couple of famous Broadway plays. And my music, you know, instructor said, she says, I want you to go to New York and try out. Now, I was like, at this time, maybe 23. My mother said no. And, you know, I'm a mama's girl, dad's girl. My dad was gone, so I listened to my mother. My dad had lived. I know I probably would have been probably singing on Broadway, you know. And my mother just didn't feel I had the stamina and the fact that people are cruel. And I said, I know they are, but I wanted to try it, but I never did. So here I am in my older age singing, having a good time. As I said, I had an opportunity to sing with a trio. We called ourselves Dr. Winnie and the Trio, and we did our first engagement Saturday night. So I am pleased that my dream is being my reality, is showing up in the appearance, is bringing forth all my experience, and it's captured in my mental capability. So there it is. I used all the words that I brought. But anyway, you know, I love you guys. I appreciate you so much. Thank you, Joan. Thank you. I'm just over the moon with the fact that God is still working with me. He's not finished with me yet. And you know, y'all watch that show, and it's called What's Next. It started in 2017. It comes on ABC News. Put it out on your guide. It will show up, and then just put it on tape. It has great stories about people who are living life well into their 70s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, and doing tremendous things. So that's what I'm offering to you all today. I love it. I love each of you. Also, it also says for I know my Justice and Mo are young. It also says that young people can start working with that information now and move it forward so that they always have it and get it much sooner. The ideas much sooner than, say, those of us who are older did. But anyway, I want y'all to have a wonderful, wonderful beginning of your week. Today is another Monday. Come on now. Christmas is approaching. We're going to do something. You know, I always try to do something on you know, gifting and all that kind of stuff, and you know, the time of year, and you know, maybe harmony, love, because sometimes families come together, friends and families come together, but they don't always end up being friendly and loving and kind. So we might talk something about that. But I will be back on Wednesday with another topic. I'm excited that you all came in and spent some time with me. If you don't do anything else, hit the share button and let this message be shared. But I am really excited about today and every day that I am still here, able to do Are You Stuck? It's a question. It's a question. And hopefully it'll have some answers for you. Love you guys. Behave. No, you don't have to. Dig into your new. It says, I must share. Thank you. Love you guys. Bye-bye. See you Wednesday.